What's going on, gardeners? It's Saturday, February 5th, and I'm at the Home Depot on Carolina Beach Road in Wilmington, North Carolina. And today I'm going to show you all the secret lumber that nobody knows about, that the lumber dealers don't want you to know about, that'll allow you to build a raised bed that'll last you 10 years or longer at a fraction of the cost of any other piece of wood in the store. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell to receive new video notifications, and check out our Amazon storefront and spread shop in the video description for a list of the gardening products I use and awesome custom designed apparel and other gear. Your support is greatly appreciated. The reason why gardening is so ubiquitous to every culture around the entire world is because of how accessible it is to the general population. It's so easy and cheap to get started, and when you get your harvests, it pays huge dividends by giving you a constant stream of food of much better quality than you can ever get at a grocery store. Over the past few generations, raised bed gardening has become very popular, and that's because in backyard settings like mine on small plots of land, it has a number of distinct advantages. It contains your garden to a very small space if that's all that you have. It provides excellent drainage, better than that of an earth bed, so if you get a heavy rain, it won't wash your crops away. You don't have to till the ground. It looks good, and it's easier on your back because you don't have to bend down as far to reach the tops of the plants in the soil line. Up until now, it's always been so easy to get started with raised bed gardening. All you had to do was go to a big box store or a lumber yard, pick up 3 8-foot 2x8s, cut one of them in half, and make your own 4-foot by 8-foot raised bed. And with the cost of the lumber and a handful of screws, you are looking at about $25 to $30 total to get started. I built almost all of my raised beds in 2018 and 2019 when the lumber market was sane, and that's all it cost me on average to make each one of these beds. As you know, the cost of lumber right now is out of control, and because it's now so expensive, it is now no longer accessible for people to go out and buy lots of lumber to make raised beds. But don't let the current cost of lumber discourage you from starting your raised bed garden. With every problem, there are solutions, and I'm going to show you mine. I normally build my raised beds out of 2x8s, and to build one 4-foot by 8-foot raised bed out of pressure treated 2x8s, look at this, they're $19.28 a board right now, and you'd have to buy 3 of them. So to build one 4-foot by 8-foot raised bed garden out of 2x8s, you'd be spending almost $60 on wood alone. And if you think you're going to save money by going for untreated wood, guess again. My Home Depot doesn't even have untreated 2x8s. All they have are untreated 2x6s, and you'd have to buy 16-foot boards, go to the trouble of cutting them in half just to make your own 8-foot section. You're still paying over $15 a board, and then they're not going to last nearly as long. This wood is going to rot 3 times faster than the pressure-treated stuff. So that brings me to my secret tip. If you go just outside the lumber department and you move over to where they have all of the outdoor wood stacked at Home Depot, they have these big pallets full of landscaping timber. It is 8-foot pressure-treated landscaping timber for $4.78 a board, and it's really nice stuff for making raised beds. It's thick, it's heavy-duty, and it will last many, many years. They will even fit inside a standard passenger vehicle. I have a Camaro, possibly one of the most difficult cars to get any kind of material in, and it's working out pretty well for me. Over the past few weeks, I've accumulated this pile of 8-foot pieces of landscaping timber right here, and as I mentioned, I paid $4.78 a board. However, I don't want you to focus on the price because the prices are going to vary based on the area that you live. So some places in New York and California where cost of living is higher, these boards are going to be more money. And for whatever reason, the Home Depot website thought I was in Georgia in my location. The prices were even cheaper. They were only $4.30 a board at this place in Georgia. So don't focus on the price. What I want you to focus on is the difference in price between these and the lumber, because prices are only going to go up over time. However, the spread, the percentage that you're going to save, is going to remain the same. So right now, these pieces of landscaping timber are $4.78 for me. So to build a raised bed, I'd need 3. So I can build a raised bed for a lumber cost of under $15. That is cheaper than one single 8-foot 2x8 board, which was almost $20 at my store. If I were to use 2x8s, it would have cost me $60 to build the same raised bed. So this is a 75% savings roughly versus standard 2x8s. And that is what I want you to focus on, the percentage saved, because that is going to remain true over time while prices will fluctuate and overall increase over time. Now, as I mentioned, my raised beds are made out of 2x8s, which are nominal 7 1/4 inches tall. So that's how much reveal I get on my raised beds, 7 1/4 inches, as you can see right here. Now, obviously, these pieces of landscaping timber are not as tall as a 2x8. However, if we rotate them like this, you can actually get a fair amount of coverage. And that gets me about 4.5 inches or so of coverage right there. So a little bit more than half that of a 2x8. Now, if 4.5 inches does not seem tall enough for a raised bed, and for many of you that may not be, alternatively, you can also lay them down on the wide end like this and stack 2 of them to make a raised bed. And if you stack 2 of them on the flat end, they're just about 6 3/4 inches to almost 7 inches tall. So that is going to get you really close to that of a 2x8 for roughly half the cost. So that would mean that you'd have to buy 6 of these pieces of landscaping timber to make one single raised bed. But again, you'd be spending $30, a little bit less than $30 in lumber, versus 3 2x8s, which will cost you close to $60. So even if you stack them like this, you're roughly getting your raised bed at half the cost. And because these pieces of wood are so much thicker than that of a 2x8, they're going to last a much longer period of time. Pressure treated 2x8s may only last something like 8 to 12 years, depending on your climate. You can expect these to last even longer because they're so much thicker than a regular piece of lumber. So whether you want to use just one of these to make your raised bed or you want to double it up to make it extra tall, no matter how you slice it, it is way cheaper to use this landscaping timber than standard lumber, and because they're so much thicker, they will probably last a longer period of time as well. Now you may be asking, I already have my raised beds built, so what am I using this for? Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to use this landscape timber to rehabilitate and restructure my strawberry beds. I used bricks simply to outline my strawberry beds before, and I'm really not a big fan because they are all filling up with weeds, and because they're cord brick with holes in the center, and they're not tall enough. So my centipede grass that makes up my lawn just grows into the strawberry bed. So by using these, this should help not only last longer and provide a straighter border, but less weed pressure as well, because they're taller and will better outline my strawberry bed so the grass cannot climb over. I'm also going to use them to make a landscaping border around my raspberry and blackberry plants. I planted my raspberries and blackberries on a large compost mound, which was fantastic for the health and the growth of the plants themselves, but it provided no landscaping barrier, and my lawn just wound up growing into the compost mounds. So now they're just overwhelmed by my lawn, and it all needs to be cleaned out and cleared. So I need to tear all of that up, and then I'm going to surround this patch with the landscape timber, which should prevent the grass from growing into the compost mounds. And that's why I think these 8-foot pieces of landscaping timber are the best kept secret in the entire lumber yard for backyard gardeners like us. So everybody, if you found this video helpful, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you're notified when we release more videos like these. If you're curious about any of the products that I use in my garden, they are all linked down below in my Amazon storefront in the video description. And while you're there, check out my Spreadshop link for custom merch if you want to support the channel. Thank you all again so much for watching, and I hope to see all of you again on the next video. Well, for the first time ever, my best buddy Dale had a little ear infection. And, he's not a big fan of the ear medicine. Come here now. Come. He does not like this at all. Come here, bud. It's a little bit of a struggle to get him to take his ear medicine. Dale, come here. Come. He's such a good boy. He wants to come and he wants to listen. Dale. Ah, not the ear medicine. Dale, I need you to sit. Come on. Sit. Come on, let's show everybody how good of a boy you are. No, Dale, come here. It's okay. Dale. Come on. Can you sit? Come on, buddy. All right, don't sit. No, just hold on, buddy. Wait. Okay, so to put a couple drops in there. Good boy. Good boy. Hold on. Hold on. I just have to shake your ear around. This is his last dose. We've been doing this for 2 weeks, and we want to make sure that Dale is going to be A-okay. Turn your head, buddy. Oh, you're such a good boy. You're such a... Oh! I take it back. I take it back. Come here. Come here. No, come on. I don't want to forget which ear that was. I actually have to review the video now and see which ear that was so I can put in the other dose.